What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Scale News Update. If you're not familiar with the show, this is where we talk about the news topics that happened in the scale world of RC over the past week. If you enjoy the Scale News Update regularly, hit the like button now. Let's jump into this week's topics. First for this week, Axial had a new release, and this time it's another SCX24. And SCX24s aren't always the most exciting thing, but this time it is a little bit more exciting because Axial has released a new brand that they're partnering with. This is the Lexus GX470. Now, this is the first time we've seen a Lexus on any of the 1/10 scale platforms, at least that I'm aware of or that I can think of, in an officially licensed way from a major manufacturer. The GX470, super popular in the overlanding world, and Axial did it in a very traditional, call it typical, whatever you want to call it, way that the overlanders often build these vehicles, with removing the front fascia and putting an off-road style bumper on it. The bumper on this one is licensed from DeMello Off-Road, and it's outfitted with all of the things you would expect: little ladders and sand ramps and roof racks and all of those things. It's got lights on it from the factory as well, some bronze-ish style black rhino wheels, just all of the stereotypical pavement pounding overland builds. You see a ton of these out here for sure. And this is another hard body. So like what they do last, they did the Bronco, or that wasn't them. Was it? That wasn't them. They did the Power Wagon. Did they do a Bronco? I can't remember. Either way, they've been in the power. Either way, they've been in the hard body world, and they're continuing down that line. Now, the SCX24 underneath has some of the upgrades that you saw on the previous releases, including the oil-filled shocks all the way around, and the new electronics, the new Spectrum style electronics that are in there, including the USB-C battery charger, and the new 2-in-1, things like that. It does come with an SLT2 radio, so a Spectrum radio rather than one of the older versions of the SCX24s that came with the non-Spectrum branded versions of that stuff. So not a bad radio. It's fairly comfortable. I like it better than the other small scale radios that are typically used, so I like what they're doing there. The rest of the electronics, the 2-in-1s, they're similar throughout the generations. Little differences here and there. People who are huge into them say they can notice a difference in fidelity from one to the next, but the SX24 platform's huge in the aftermarket world, and lots of people are changing out those pieces anyway. But I assume that this will be a popular one during the Christmas season. It's coming in 3 different colors: white, silver, and black. No off-the-wall colors this time, just the standard, most commonly seen Lexus colors you see for these types of rigs. But either way, I think it's exciting to see a Lexus. Now, I know Lexus is a parent or a child company to Toyota, and have we seen actual Toyotas from Axial or not? No? I guess they're baby stepping into it, or going to the top. I don't know. Whatever it is. I don't hate it. I think it looks pretty good. If you're interested in picking up your first SCX24, be careful, they multiply. And if you're just looking for another one, again, looks pretty good. Next, from Kyosho, this is the Ultimate SBDun Master Buggy kit. I don't know much about the Ultima base that is underneath of this. It's not the old school Ultima. I believe it's a different or newer version of it, but this thing looks fantastic. I love the buggy style. I love the body that they have on it, the buggy style that they're going for with some of the other additional bits. Kyosho does such a good job with bodies and proportions, and I think this is just a great example of it. It's kind of like the RC cars that I pictured as a kid. A little bit of scale styling with some, the wide track width, all those type of things. I think this thing just looks fantastic. I know nothing else about it beyond that. Some of the initial stuff that I saw was pretty basic. It does appear to be a kit, so you get to build it and put your own electronics into it. And then I believe that there is other or aftermarket parts available for this version of the Ultima platform already. So if that's something you're after, I think this thing looks fantastic. Maybe you agree. Maybe you know way more about it than me already. I wouldn't be surprised. For those of you looking for some new 2.2s, Vanquish is finally releasing the 2.2 Battleborn wheels Sierra edition, or Sierra version, model, however you want to say it, in black, clear, and bronze all at once. Those will be released today sometime. So if you're seeing the news, just keep refreshing the site constantly and forever. But you'll find them hit up there later on today. You can find those 3 colors all available. Battleborn Wheels is a full-size wheel company based out of the Reno area. Small operation, veteran-owned. They just make some good-looking stuff, big into the community itself as well, and also RC fans. So if you're looking for some new 2.2s, these are the 0.8-inch wide version, so a narrow, great for buggies and things like that. The 2.2s from Vanquish have come in a couple of different sizes, the wider 1.2-inch wide, and then the newer, or back to the more original narrow style of the 0.8-inch wide. So depending on what rig you're putting them on or what style you're going for with the tires, tire width, all those type of things may determine whether or not this one is going to be the choice for you. If they are, check the site here very soon. In an effort to try and make the scale news better, every week I go through and check a ton of different bookmarks that I've got saved. I go through as many sites as I can to try and see if new releases were out, but I definitely cannot catch them all. And if I don't have the website saved to go back and look at over and over, then I can miss them. But if your company has a new release, I've set up a new email address where you can send your press release information. You can send it to news@harleydesigns.com. You can send the information on the product with a photo, preferably, and it needs to be in before Monday afternoon. And it should only be used for new release products and from a company that you are affiliated with in a way that you should be providing this information, not just a fan of another company trying to send it, preferably. So if you've got information from your company or a company that you work for, you can send that information again, news@harleydesigns.com. Next, Sanwa has got a new version of the M17. This is the M17S updated version, supposed to be one of the fastest radios available. It's got, if you're in the Sanwa ecosystem, this is likely something that you'll be aware of as far as some of the features, things like that. Ready to support full telemetry inside, all of the things that you would come to expect from a flagship radio from a company. 250 some odd model memory on this thing. Again, super fast, made for, or super popular with the racing community, racers, drag racing, if that still counts or is a thing. And then of course, regular track racing. That's going to be where this is probably the most popular or most useful. Not sure if the Sanwas are used as much in drifting as the Fatabas are, but if you're looking to chase a new flagship radio, maybe you're already in that Sanwa / Airtronics type area, you're just looking to pick up a new one finally, maybe make sure you're checking out the specs on the newest one or get a discount on the previous newest one. Maybe that's a thing for you as well. The initial information that I saw in this little flyer here came from one of the overseas toy fairs where the information was originally released, but I assume that all of that will be clarified and posted up before too long for our side of things. But if you'd like some more information on that, I assume that you'll find that fairly soon. And if you'd just like some more information on what's going on this side of the internet, then channel membership's available. If you're interested in the channel membership, it helps support the channel a little bit extra. You also get some additional content along with that, including After News Delight, which is just an extension of this show where we go over each of the stories a little bit more in depth in a more candid way. You'll also find some other candid behind the scenes types of videos, especially as I'm working on some projects like the build along, the Rockabilly build along, which is right over there. Currently, it's a roller already, making good progress. Looking forward to getting that finished. But if you'd like to see more on that before it's done, check out the channel membership. Much appreciated the extra support as well. If you are looking for more information on that, there'll be some information and a link in the description below. Praise Wheel, the series where Matt and I are taking Vanquish H10 optics and upgrading them every week by the direction of a wheel of just anger. We spin a wheel every week. Whatever it lands on, we have to do individually 2 different results. This week coming up, you'll find my most difficult, the most I've struggled on a project in quite some time. It did not go well. It hasn't gone well, and I don't know exactly how I'm gonna fix it. So if you'd like to see that, check that out this coming Wednesday. And this week, Matt has to do all of his upgrades with some sort of mitts on. It makes no sense. I understand. Come check it out anyway. And after that, Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, you can come check out Livestream Takeover, where Matt and I will be recapping everything that went oh so wrong for us in the previous week and anything else that happened new. Sometimes we talk about RC things in general. Don't count on it though, but you can always count on the show. 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Come join us. Reefs RC just released the 49 SubMicro Servo. Now, this SubMicro means that it is smaller than micro. Make sense? So anyway, this little thing, super teeny tiny. It's 49 ounce inches at 8.4 volts, but with a wild speed, 0.05 on the transit time at 8.4 volts. So very snappy at that. They also have a little micro winch drum that you can put on it as well. Now, the size of it should mean that even though it's only at 49 ounce inches, with the speed though, it should still work fairly decently as a winch just because of how tight that drum is. I think that it should still do okay. So if you wanted to use it as like a suck down winch was my initial thought. Also, Reefs posted one up where someone had used it as a winch in an SCX24, and being with how small it was, dropped in there without being all that intrusive even. It didn't even look like wildly out of scale compared to like a 10th scale in an SCX24, which was wild to see. This thing's super crazy tiny, takes its own special little mounts because of how small it is. And I assume that you'll also find applications for this in maybe other micro size RCs, which is probably where the size and everything came from. But if you've got a super small servo need, this one might be worth checking out. This just popped up from Redcat for me. This is the Redcat 71 Buick Riviera body, a pre-cut 71 Buick Riviera for the Lowrider platform. I believe this is specifically for the like 285 wheelbase setup. So I think that's like the same as the G bodies and things like that. Now, I don't think that this comes as a full model. I don't think you can buy a Riviera Lowrider from Redcat, at least that I'm aware of. I went and did a quick search and I didn't see it pop up anywhere, but I also don't see any photos of this like complete and painted. So I'm not sure if I'm missing something. Maybe this isn't as new as I think it is. I thought it just popped up, but I can't find much information about it, even like from Redcat social media posts or anything. So maybe it's older than I thought and I'm just seeing it pop up on some sites as far as available. Maybe it's just coming back in stock. I'm not 100% sure, but 71 Buick Rivieras, always kind of cool cars. I always kind of liked that big old boat Buick style. So this one looked pretty interesting and I just don't ever remember seeing one like it available. So if you're also a Buick Riviera fan, we should start a club. No. But kind of cool. Pre-painted or pre-cut, not pre-painted. Pre-cut, tons of detail in these Redcat bodies. Looks like a lot to paint. Maybe not my, maybe it's not for me, but pretty cool nonetheless. I'll put a link to it as well as links to the rest of today's stories down in the description below. And speaking of lowrider stuff, Jevries posted up that they have some new shocks available. Now, I don't know exactly how functional these are as an actual shock and spring type setup because the spring on this thing looks massive. Now, it's probably more proper to scale of a lowrider, which I assume is why they did it. And the body of the shock as well, more appropriate to the actual scale, trying to get the real world styling of the front end of one of these, Impalas or things like that, looking appropriate. So I think that's what they're after. And for that fact, I think that they did a good job. The scale factor, for the sake of the scale factor, be damned, the function, sometimes I can get behind, unless it's leaf sprung. These shocks are super affordable. If you've got a lowrider and you're looking to spice up your styling, you can go grab a set. And then TWWs released 2 new special editions of their scale platform. This is the VTG 80 RTR with a recognizable style, but What is new is the limited edition green color. And not only is this limited edition green available, but it's available in 2 different finishes. You can get glossy or flat, which I don't think that I've seen anybody do. Like with a single color option, you can get either finish. That was kind of interesting. The green itself, not bad. Don't hate that at all. I don't know if it's as, flashy as maybe some would like, but I think my first Jeep was a very similar shade of green, actually. The CTS platform that lives underneath of that body, that's on you to decide whether or not it's something for you. But I don't hate their color options, and I don't hate the idea of being able to buy a flat or gloss version of something as well. Kind of interesting. But that does it for this week's news topics. For this week's question, taking it back to our last story a little bit, limited edition green color that truck came in. I want to know, when you're building a truck or you're selecting your next truck, are you someone who kind of goes through and coordinates to all of your vehicles along a same color scheme? Like all of your trucks are blue of some sort or have to be blue, or you try and make them blue or orange, whatever it may be? Or do you have just like a color of everything? Like each time you're like, no, I want this truck to be red this time, and this one to be green, and this one to be purple, whatever it may be. Like I've known people who have only owned white vehicles. Now full-size vehicles, that's a little different. I know what looks cleanest, things like that. But I've known people that paint all of their vehicles the same color with like concrete flames or a weird checkerboard pattern on the front of them, no matter if it looks appropriate on the style of vehicle or not. But I want to know, do you have that style? You try and keep everything looking the same, or do you change it up constantly? Looking forward to hear what you guys have to say, what your collections look like. Does it look like a bag of Skittles in your hobby room, or does it just look all the same all the way across? Post up your comments below. Love reading your comments, my favorite part of the Scale News update. But that's going to do it for this week. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button. Subscribe if you're not already. Hit the notification bell so you see the videos as soon as they get uploaded. If you're interested in joining the channel membership, much appreciated as well. The extra support helps the channel a lot. But that's going to do it for this week. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.